Howdy folks, how are we doing? We are baling hay, as you can see, and I've got my able assistant, the Typhoon H, on recording duties. Right, now we're done this field we're in. Let's get old Droney up out of the way a little bit so we can concentrate for a second and get into the next field. So yeah, this is the last sort of block of the day. And yeah, nice bit of hay to be fair. So he's on the loader. He's just putting them in fours, stacking them in fours, just in case we do get a shower. You know, it's the old adage that you know, if you stack them up, it won't rain. If you don't stack them up, it will rain. So we have stacked them up just to be on the safe side. I'm going to squeeze my way through this little gate. We're through. Yeah, I've got a couple of little fields here. Let's take you up and have a look around, shall we? You see the field behind me now is in round bales. Charlie's round baled that. And he's actually still round baling, so doesn't matter really what type of bale this is in. Yeah, so we're putting both balers in it. But no, fair crop here. I'm 58 so far I have. Charlie's no doubt done a few more than me. But no, yeah, good old crop here. Bring it down for a closer look. And it's not the easiest operating a baler whilst flying the drone. Granted, the drone does fly itself, but you still got to find out where it is and sort of move it around for the camera and all that sort of thing like we have at the minute. It takes a bit of doing whilst concentrating on the job at hand, i.e. baling, keeping the row up the middle, keeping the tractor in frame, like so. Making sure the boughs out the back have got strings on them. Make sure we don't block the pickup up, because as you can see, we've got some fair rows here. They're bulldozing a bit as we go under the tractor. And we're getting a bit of pulsing from the tractor. There's a fair load on her. Joey's waiting patiently for a bale. We're smashing along. I realise what Joe's doing now. He's got my big camera and he's trying to get a bit of footage of me bailing as we go along. So we'll see how good he is with that. I should have brought the Ronin S in for him, and he would have stood a much better job. But Joe's he's a good cameraman. I've used him a few times, and got a good eye and a good steady hand he has. I'll have to employ him full time. We'll duck into the next row now. Like so. It's pretty good with being filmed. Joe's filming me whilst I'm filming myself. Not the easiest of tasks, but Joe's got a fair steady job. He's like I say, stacking up behind a big baler is not too demanding a job. But, I need to get that front bow bumper painted, don't I? Something I didn't get done in the winter. Just finish it off, that would. I think a bit of yellow and black would match the fast track and do well, rather than John Deere green. Although we have got a John Deere again now, as you've no doubt seen. Right, turn coming up. Yeah. Steady girl. I don't think we're going to make that. We're going to have to do a back up. I'm not a fan of turning really tight with a baler because it just puts I think a lot of unnecessary stress on the wide angle PTO. And them wide angle PTOs are very, very expensive. Probably for that one on this baler, I think is probably £1,000. So it pays to look after them. Keep them well greased, and like I say, if you can limit the angle it has to work at, all the better. It will last a lot longer when you're going, when it's operating in a straight line via, rather than working at an angle all the time. And if you persist in working at a sharp angle, it'll no doubt shorten its life. So, like I say, they're a good £1,000 easy, I think. So you want to do your best and make their life as easy as possible. Oh, Joey's trying all the fancy moves with the old camera. He is. Even got his tongue out. I'm interested to see how this video ends up, what it looks like. I mean, if you remember, I have done one of these before. That was power harrowing. That was on a foggy morning, which was that was a beautiful morning for it. Lovely, like I say, foggy morning, and yeah, that did look nice. I'll just get into that row, last settling row. Do a bit of backing up again. Whoa, darling. So the commentary might not be the best because it's very tricky doing all three things at once. And we're getting low on battery for this one. So what we'll do is we'll pull her up and we'll stick another battery in it. Well, it should be a good little comparison now, just see what's quicker. Could well be the V660, to be fair. No doubt Charlie's going to open her up. Yeah, see, I'm quite comfortable at this speed, I am. And he's just edging me, to be fair. I mean, if I go a bit, well, I'm running in PS, so my next sort of gear up is a bit quicker. But if I was, I suppose, if I was in Vario, you know, I could probably edge it, you know, do a, you know, edge him a little bit, like. But will you stop making bales?
Thank you, but don't have to stop.
Yeah, I think you'd yeah, go quicker than this, I think. It does help if you put net wrap on them, though. Yeah, Charlie's whether he got all excited there or what, I don't know, but he's neglected to put.
Not sure what happened to that one.
Yeah, he's not quite sure what happened with that one. We'll have to push it out and rebale it. You'll see her in a minute. There you go, there's that just in the corner there. But no, you can, well, that is, I mean, the difference between the round baler and the big baler is, you know, there's a significant difference. And the reason why the round baler can go, you know, can go so quick is because it's not packing the material in so tight. Whereas, as I've sort of demonstrated with the square baler before, you've got that plunger going backwards and forwards, and that really does pack the material in. But whereas the round baler doesn't really work like that. I'm trying to do a bit of picking up while we go, one-handed. Yeah, because I mean, obviously the square bales have got a lot more material and they're far more dense. So there's that to consider as well, like, you know. I mean, that does, like I say, that does help the round baler go quicker. There we go. It's yeah, certainly a bit more tricky trying to do a commentary whilst flying the drone whilst operating a baler than it is, for example, doing power hour and on auto steer. But I don't think I've done too badly. It's been quite interesting seeing the you know, seeing the round baler working next to the square. I mean, obviously it's quite a rarity to be working in the same field. Well, it's very rare from to be working in the same field. Like I say, it's only because they're not fussed what type of bale they've got. So we are, yeah, that's why we've got the both in it. Just to get it done. Interesting to see how many bales, what the difference in bales is as well. I'm done. Well, we'll have a look when we turn around. We'll have a look, see what the difference in bales is per row. Just out of interest. Right, so I am doing one and a bit by the looks of it. Charlie's doing 3. Yeah, so he's doing 3, just over 3 to the row, and I'm doing just over 1. I've got 2 in a row, but there's only like sort of 30 yard. We're looking on the second bale, so. Yeah, which is not that big a difference really, is it, when you think about it? Yeah, not that big a difference. Right, well, we are nearly done, folks. We've got one more row there, which Charlie can bring up. Actually, no, I'll go down it. I think we can get into this next little field down the bottom. Hey, see, that's a problem when you're doing a bit of drone work. All that beeping is block the pickup up. But she's just cleared herself. Just have to drop the revs and it'll clear. So yeah, I'd say some good old grass in these rows. Right, as we go upward into the atmosphere at 200 foot, I shall say I hope you enjoyed that little vid, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ta!